Hi, and welcome to the Writers Business School. This is our free Wednesday webinar on time management, how to balance your writing and building a business at the same time. So we're going to get started. Again, I'm Melissa Sherlin with Writers Business School, and this is a really important skill we hope that you all take time to use. Here we go. All right. A lot of you have come to this seminar or this webinar because you've heard and are feeling this very terrible truth that 90% of books created today sell fewer than 100 copies, regardless of how they are published or over what medium, fewer than 100 copies of each title. That is a really, really painful truth that Writers Business School, we are working very, very hard to change. Selling your books is a business skill, not a writing skill. Writing well is a writing skill, but getting to the bestsellers book list with your book, that's a business skill. And the more time you can dedicate to the business side of your career, the better your sales will be. And the more you'll enjoy your book launches. But to do that, we need to take time. So that's what this is all about, time management, right? So what is time management? When people talk about time management, what do they mean? Why you need to hone this skill, not just in your writing career, but as a whole life skill. And then how to tell if you're using your time well. I'm going to show you some steps to use your time better. And then how to tell if all of these efforts you're taking are actually working. Setting goals and how to reach them. Okay? So it's a big topic. We've got about 60 minutes. Let's do this. Just as full disclosure, I love this topic. That's why I'm getting to present it instead of my business partner, Rona. I was like, no, me. And she's like, okay, fine. But this is a skill that everyone needs to use, especially people like authors who are trying to have a career outside of however they are currently paying their bills. And let you all know that I am a full-time writer, so time management is very important because I'm running my whole life with my words. So let's do this. Ready? Now, how to make your writing career work, right? Some simple truths. We are all human. I'm just going to assume that. And then there are 24 hours in each day. Right? Okay, yes, there's like 15 minutes or whatever extra, so we have like an extra day or whatever, but 24 hours a day. You can't add to it. You can't subtract it. That's just how many there are. And they will all be spent. Yesterday's hours are all gone. Today's hours are all we have. Tomorrow's haven't happened yet. We can't speed it up. We can't slow it down. It's just what it is. And also, publishing success is a process that you need to walk through. There are steps. You do this step, and then that step, and then that step. Just like learning a dance step. The more you practice, the better you get at it, right? So how do you make your writing career work being a human with a life and only 24 hours a day and knowing you need to walk through some additional steps to make it work? Well, we suggest a ratio of business versus writing. For every 1 session you do of business, do 4 of creating new work. Okay, we call it the 1-to-4 ratio. And what that means is for every 5 sessions you carve out to be a writer, you take 1 of those sessions for developing the business side of your career, and 4 sessions for actually creating new work. Okay. It seems really simple, but this is what you need to do to be successful as a serious author. The next question we get is always, well, How? My day is so full already. How on earth am I going to carve out any time? I can barely find time to write. How am I going to find time for business too? That's what you're here for, right? All right. Before you start getting nervous about, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Let's look at what time management is. Right? Now, first things first, there is no such thing as time management. Really, seriously, no such thing as time management, right? Unless you're a Time Lord with the ability to affect space-time in any meaningful way. As a human, we experience time, you know, start to finish. We can't change. We can't manipulate. We can't adjust time. We have no effect on time whatsoever. We just experience it. So what we can do is, instead of managing time, we manage our activities over a specific duration of time. And it's that activity management that is what people consider time management. But really, you're managing yourself. You can't manage time. Time is doing its own thing regardless of what you are doing or what you want to do. Time marches on, right? It's your activities in that time. That's what you manage. And so activity management is knowing how long a task takes you so you can realistically set goals for whatever you want and then be able to reach them. Okay? Now, we already do this. Some people more efficiently than others, but there's already some time management going on in your life. Right? My favorite example is when I was working for a company. I lived 10 miles away from the office. And in my head, I just assumed that it would take me up 10 to 15 minutes to get to the office every morning. And then, boom, I was always late. I didn't understand, like, why? I'm only 10 miles away. Why does it take me like 25 minutes to get to the office? And then I realized, oh, traffic. There's commuters along with me in the morning. So I had to adjust things to back up so I could leave. That is some time management, some activity management. But until you walk through the steps of actually seeing what's happening, a lot of basic things like that get overlooked. And there's probably some things like that happening with your use of time. So I'm going to show you some ways to make that happen. Right? Oh, now, whew, as an author, people come into being an author at all different phases and times in their life. And I can just tell you by like looking at you and listening to your goals what phase of your writing career you're actually in, right? Most people get into the writing career thinking, oh, I'm going to be on the bestsellers list the first time out. It's going to be awesome. Once they've been in it for a little while, their goals start to change. And their first real goal is that they want to dedicate more time to their writing career, right? And so whenever you have a goal, you want to set some specific doable tasks so you can actually tell if you're reaching your goal. And so a very basic first goal for any author is, to dedicate more time to your writing career. And a lot of people say that, okay, that's 30 minutes a day and or 250 words produced. Okay, 250 words is actually just the average number of words on a page. So back when I started so many decades ago, I was told that, okay, if you want to be a real writer, you have to at least create 1 page a day. That means that you can have a whole book done, 1 book a year, and that's the bare bone minimum of being an author. So there's more to it, but that's still the basic first goal. 30 minutes a day and or 250 words. Okay? And once they've gotten that down and they're pretty like set, like, okay, I can get that done, no problem, then they move on to goal number 2, which is, I need to sell more books. I want to make some more money at this, right? So they'll realize, okay, it's more than just writing out there. There's something more. And so they'll dedicate the 30 minutes once a week to walk through the reliable, repeatable processes to grow their sales. They'll learn business skills. That's the missing piece that so many authors are missing, right? So they'll give themselves like 30 minutes to walk through these processes to help grow sales while still creating with those other times, okay? And then number 3, their goal changes yet again. They want to pay all their bills as a full-time author. And to do that, people need to keep producing new work while they continue to walk through the repeatable processes that grow sales. Okay? These are specific goals, and each goal, and any goal in your life, really you need to allocate some time to. Right? So, boom, how to manage your activities. Well, you can't allocate time unless you know how you're already spending that time, because each of us have very, very busy days. Okay? So, you just need to write everything down. So you get some paper and a pencil. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't carry paper around. Oh, okay. Would really suggest getting some kind of paper, some kind of favorite writing implement, and actually doing this analog on a piece of paper, okay? Because what you want to do is you want to track your daily activities, okay? For an entire day, you want to write down everything you do. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. You could pause every 30 minutes and note what you're doing or what you finished, right? If that works for you, great. Or you can go the second route, and before you start a task, you write down what time it is, what time you started. When you finished, you write down the end time so you can tell how long it took, and then you write down the start time for the next task. When it's done, you go back to the piece of paper, you write down when it ended, right? And go through that way in your day. That second way is my favorite way of doing it because I get a lot of things done. I do things very quickly sometimes, and some activities take longer. But either way, you want to carve up your day and see how you're using it. Okay, just don't sit down at the end of the day when you're already exhausted from what you've done and try to like remember what you did, because then you're relying on just how time feels and not actually how time is. Okay, that's like me not realizing that 10 miles does not mean 10 minutes. Okay, it seemed like it did, but in actuality, that wasn't the same thing. Okay? You want to track your activities over an entire day, but also you want to go for a week. Okay? We all know when something new starts up, or you're like, okay, this time I really mean it. The universe comes in and just like crashes a whole bunch of stuff. Like, oh yeah, really? Boom, here you go. The kid has the flu. Oh, look at that. A flat tire took longer to get to work. Oh, look at that. You lost your wallet. Okay, so these things happen. When you track your activities over a whole week, you can see what actually happened, but also see, like, you can get an average day in there somewhere. Okay, and you can see how it goes. Okay. Once you've collected this information, you can look to see how you spent your time. Okay? That's the most important part of managing your activities, and the whole secret to this thing people call time management is you have to look at how you spent it and then make choices on, okay, what can I do better? Where can I streamline? Okay? So this is a sample. Help lots and lots of people, streamline their days so they can find more time for writing and business and everything else fun they want. So this is just a basic, tracking. This person gets up at 6:30, they wake up, they have the regular crazy morning of feeding everybody and kids and getting everybody dressed and out the door, and they were nice enough to wait at the bus stop for the kid. They drove to their day job, right? They worked from like 8 to noon, and then they had an hour-long lunch break, right? They went out to Chili's with the gang. They went back to work from 1 to 5. Then from 5 to 6, they drove home, but they stopped at the store for milk, right? Right when they got home, they started making dinner. Took about half an hour. Then they ate dinner in front of the TV. Then between 6:40 and 7:30, they argued with the kids about homework or whatnot. Then at 7:30 to 8, they finally, sat down, relaxed, watched some TV. And then it was time to get everybody ready for bed. Took about an hour. And then at the end of the day, between 9 and 11, they just sat down, watched some TV, trying to relax. Then 11, they went to bed so they could do it all over again. Right? This is what you're going to see the first couple of times, okay? But you can pick out, oh, well, maybe they could, make some choices, and instead of going out to dinner with the gang, maybe they could spend that time writing. Lots of people with day jobs write on their lunch breaks, right? I know one person used to go in and write in the bathroom in 15-minute breaks. It was kind of funny. Other people, they wake up 2 hours early to get their daily word count in. Other people, they stay up extra late to get their word count in. I used to do that. I used to be up at 5, and I wouldn't get to bed until after midnight because I told myself I needed to get my word count in. But you can see in your day there are places that you could tweak things around. Okay? All right. When you look at this, you've spent this time chronicling your day. What should you be looking for? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy and I wasted time here, I wasted time there. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking to see how you spent your time. Okay? Try to keep the judgment out of it, right? Yeah, you wanted things to go better, but you're trying. So, look to see how you spent your time. How long do regular activities take you? How long does it take to make dinner? How long does it take to get the kids ready? How long does it take to drive somewhere? How long does it take to make a quick run to the store? Right? If anyone's ever done a home improvement project, that drive to the home supply store gets longer and longer every time you take it. And I haven't been able to do one home improvement project without running back 2 or 3 times. It's but that's the time it takes. And I know, okay, well, there's going to be at least a second trip that I planned everything down to the wing nut, but there's going to be one more trip. I can put it in here. It's just part of my system, right? Also, what you want to do is you want to look at how much time you wasted in self-doubt, stalling. If you track it for more than one day, you'll see that at a certain time of day, you just start to slow down, right? This is a natural energy flow for humans, okay? We don't go and go and go and go and go. There are points, even if someone seems like they're going and going and going, there are points in their day where you just naturally are a little more low energy than others, okay? And if you see that it's happening about the same time every day, you can make choices to, give yourself a snack or some kind of reward that'll kind of boost your energy back up to make, the day go more smoothly, okay? Don't sit there and oh, I wasted that, I wasted that. Okay, don't beat yourself up when you realize that there are these low points in your day. This is important information that you can use to help yourself, okay? And then when you see all of the collection of activities that you do, right, you want to see where you can start to streamline the tasks so you can take the time that you're currently using and streamline it so you can apply it to your second job, this dream job of being an author that you are working towards, okay? So when you are looking at all of these things, though, you really do need to be realistic, okay? You do need downtime, okay? You need to know, okay, I need a little break, right? You need to have connection time, right? These are basic needs, right? You need to be able to connect to your friends and family because success without them is really meaningless, okay? So you need to still have time for your friends and family and pets, right? The connection to make the success you're after mean something when you get it, okay? Also, you do need to eat, okay? You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to skip lunch and write the whole time, or I'm going to skip breakfast and write because that's like, 10, 15 minutes that I can use. Like, no, you need to nourish your body. You need to make it sustainable, okay? And you do need to sleep, right? You can't be up 24/7 and expect this life to work for you, okay? The question is, how much of those things do you need? How much downtime? How much connection time? How much, time to eat? Maybe there's a quicker way to do it, right? How much sleep do you need? Okay, some people, I know they sleep for 12 hours a day, right? If you need that much, okay, but you're going to have to take it from somewhere else. Okay? A lot of people, they'll start like, oh, I'll just go to bed later, or I'll just wake up earlier. That's not sustainable in the long run unless you decide it is. So just be aware, be realistic when you look at how you're spending your time, and be realistic and make choices. Okay? Okay, so this is what my day looked like on election day. Okay, a little bit crazy day. Didn't get as much done as I usually do because election day that's my fourth favorite holiday of the year. I know, I'm weird, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the American political system, even when, it doesn't quite work out the way I want. It's still one of my favorite days. So you see, I woke up at 5:10 in the morning. I do, yeah. And then between 5:15 and 5:25, I let my dog out. I fed him. I watered him, gave him food. Right, I emptied the dishwasher. I have a whole morning routine. It takes about 10 minutes, right? And then I had coffee, and I went through my daily activities. I have a list of things to do, and I make sure that they haven't changed since I made the list at night. Sometimes they change in the middle of the night, right? And then, around 5:50, between 6, I exercise, and then I did a shower. That's for stress relief. Then I play with my dog some more. Then I decided around 7:15 to clean up my car because I actually made a table during election returns. um, and then around 7:30 or so, I went on Facebook and social media, played games on my phone, while I was having breakfast and some more coffee. I ran out to vote. I had some more coffee, and I cleaned up the mess that my dog made. And in a few minutes, I walked across the street to go vote. Then I checked my emails. I had an interview with a radio station. They wanted to speak to an American about the election process, so I told them I would be their person. They actually called back many, many times last night, so it was kind of funny. And then I sat down. I have a contract, so I did 2,000 words on my work in progress. Then I did some laundry. Then I spent like an hour or so working on the Writers Business School stuff. I did break for lunch for 45 minutes where I watched TV, I played on my phone again, did a lot of phone games because there's like one of these challenges that I want more points on for my daughter, but I put that in there. And then I spent a couple hours on the nonprofit I work with, then some more back to Writers Business School. I took my dog for a walk, spent way too much time checking for ticks and cleaning up. It's just that time of year. I folded some laundry, and then I made dinner, and I fed everybody again, right? Then I cleaned up. I did some NaNoWriMo work because it is November right now, and I'm in a little group that does that. I wrote some blogs. I actually mapped out my things I needed to get accomplished for today. And then at 7:45, 8 o'clock, I pretty much wrapped up my day. I got ready for the fun of watching the returns come in. Like I said, I made my table. I didn't take another picture because I'd stopped tracking at that point, but I did a lot of stuff too. But that's how I track my time. And even though I have a really good system that gets me a lot of success and I reach a lot of my goals in the time frame I set, I still do this. Like once a month I'll go down, I'll track it for a couple of days just to make sure that I'm not is there something else I want to fit in? Maybe I can tweak some things, okay? So this is a process that keeps going and going, okay? But the reason I'm showing you mine is because part of my system is to reward myself while I'm creating, okay? So I do create. You see that I wrote 2,000 words on my work in progress and got another 1,700 for NaNoWriMo. Okay? I have a personal goal of writing 3,000 words in 2 hours. Okay, and I did just about that. I got to 3,000 words in a little over 3 hours, but a little over 2 hours. But, I hit my goal. I didn't do it all at once because I can't sit still long enough, I think. But I did it. Okay? Also, I did a lot of marketing and moving my writing career forward. Right? That's what all these things are. I was on Facebook and social media making connections and chatting with my favorite readers. Okay? I had an interview with an Australian radio station because they needed somebody. And yeah, it was super fun, but I got to say, yes, I'm an author, and, I got some book sales yesterday because they're like, oh, let me go check out some stuff, okay? Also, I run a nonprofit, so I worked on that. That's also a way that I can go out there in the world. Working with my nonprofit, it energizes me. It makes me really happy, like I'm contributing. But also, it's where I can talk about this topic that I truly enjoy, healthy communication, to different groups of people, and also be able to say when it's introducing the speaker, internationally best-selling author Melissa Sherlin, like, that's cool. It sells a lot of books, but I'm not doing it to sell books. But it does kind of fall under the marketing. And then also I wrote some blogs, got some blogs up. Again, that's part of marketing. Okay? Now, notice I don't sit down and do them all right through my day. I don't squunch 5 or 6 hours and then march through. I don't, because I found that that does not work for me. What I do is I sprinkle in some things that make me feel good, all right? Some sanity of sitting down and just looking at my plan for the day. The sanity of actually, endorphins for the exercising, playing with my dog, right? I bunch a lot of good stuff in the morning to push me through the day, okay? And then I do the social media, and then I allow myself to play on my phone, all right? I'm not going to cut out playing on my phone. I love playing on my fancy phone. I wouldn't have downloaded those games, okay? Um, Also, I worked on the Writers Business School and Compassion Project, right? And then I took my dog for a walk. I just wanted to get out and stretch, breathe the air, like reward myself for getting so many things done in the day, right? I did some boring house stuff, right? And then after I finished writing, I was like, I gotta get a couple more things done before the fun. So I sat down, I wrote some more blogs, and I only had 30 minutes that I wanted to do. So I set a timer, and I got the 2 blogs I needed done. Okay? But then after that, I kind of pulled it together, and I said, okay, what's tomorrow's plan? So I wrote down what I needed to do so that I can stop, worrying about it. Like, okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. Okay? So that's what you want to do, or that's what works for me. So I do something, and then I reward myself. I do something, and I reward myself. Okay? And that's just, when you can see your patterns, you'll start to see how your best way or route to get through the day is. Okay? All right. So where do we start with this, though? Okay. Well, you want to try something new. Okay. Look at your average day. That's why we suggest writing these activities down for more than just one day. Right. Then you want to make a 30-minute appointment with yourself. Okay. Set a timer. And then work until the timer goes off. Okay. You set the timer because it's this third-party authority. Like, hey, I'm just going to do this for 30 minutes. You get through the 30 minutes, yay! You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. You can go on and do something else. You did what you said you were going to do. Okay? And then after it's off, when you sit back, think, how did it go? Is there anything that could make it easier, anything that would maybe set you up successfully for the next time you try it. Okay? That's what you're looking for how did it go. And then you want to be able to make adjustments for tomorrow when you do it again. Okay? One of my favorite things I've learned from giving these webinars, I like to have, well, I have to let the dog out before we start recording, but also I give him a chewy so he doesn't sit here and bark and pant. Also, I have a nice cup of tea for when I get like thirsty. Okay? These make it go better. The first couple wasn't as smooth as I wanted, but looking at how did it go and what adjustments can I make for next time, I found a system that works, and I really enjoy it. Okay? All right. So you're working through you're working through this time management thing, and you're going to pop up to some common resistance. Okay? Remember, your brain has one job: keep you alive, and your brain is doing its best to keep you alive. Everything that's going on in your life, your brain has decided will keep you alive. So it's going to pop up with some wonderful lies that it's going to tell you to keep you doing exactly what you're doing. So working on a new skill and getting something new, a new pattern into your life, is going to be very stressful. More stressful for some than others, but here are some common resistance you'll tell yourself, right? Well, I don't have 30 minutes all at once, so I guess I better not try, right? Okay, you don't have 30 minutes all at once? Find 10 minutes. Find 5 minutes. Set the timer and try to collect the 30 minutes of the day, okay? You can do it. Oh, they won't leave me alone long enough to do this, right? I can't tell you how many times I've heard this from parents, and also children that are taking care of their parents, young people that live at home and their parents are like telling them to do 100 things, okay? They won't leave me alone long enough. You need to take the time. Set the timer. Even a tiny little smidge is a declaration of your determination to make your writing career work. Okay? You can do it. Then my favorite, something always comes up. Oh, I can't because I couldn't track my activities because, something came up. It wasn't my regular day. It was just a crazy day. Something came up. Do it anyway. Track your activities anyway. There will be some crazy days you can't get around. Okay? There will be days where you don't hit your word count. But you want to hit your word count. You want to hit your business skills. You want to hit the items you said you'd get done. You want to get most of them done. Okay? All right? You want to, as an average, get them done. Okay? So really set the schedule. Stick to it as best you can. Even when something comes up, if something crazy is going on, say, okay, just 5 minutes. Give yourself that 5 minutes. Then having that success of 5 minutes will actually make it easier next time to do 5 minutes, or maybe even move it up to 10 minutes the next time. Okay? You can do this. Right? A lot of people also, when they start actually deciding to dedicate time to their author career, they're like, I just can't be inspired to work on a time frame. I can only create when I feel like it. That's not true. If you want it to be true, it can be. But you can also create on a time frame. If you only have 30 minutes, if you really want this, if you really want to be an author, you will find the 30 minutes and you will find the inspiration. And you'll push through the fear of doing all of these steps to make your career work. The building your readership, the developing your platform, the figuring out your distribution and your capture rate, and actually all those things you need to do for the book launch to be successful. And creating, yes, you will do all of these things. Remember, we have the ratio for a reason, the 1-to-4 ratio, right? For every 5 sessions that you've carved out to dedicate to your author career. 1 for developing the business side and all those skills to sell your work, and 4 to creating the work that you plan to sell, okay? All All right, and the last one, my schedule changes day to day. There's no way I can pick out some time and see where it's going. It's always different. Yep, I had one of these too. The schedule changes every day and something crazy comes up. Again, decide. Okay, you need to decide what's important. And then you can start making choices like, do I wake up earlier? Do I go to bed earlier so I can wake up earlier? Do I stay up later? Do I, not go out to lunch with my friends as often? Do I, write in front of the TV or whatever? You will find some solutions that work in your life because it's your life and it's your dream. Okay? So how to get past the resistance? Really, it all comes down to deciding your writing career is worth the effort. Okay? Until you make that decision and that choice that your writing career is worth it, you're not going to get anywhere. Right? So you want to know why your writing career is worth it, you have to get to a bigger why to inspire you to sit down every day and work on what you promised yourself you're going to work on. Okay? Now, there's a progression of whys as our why, our reason for doing it, gets bigger and bigger, right? We start out and, oh, writing is so much fun, putting my words on the page. Oh, it's so freeing and wonderful. And then somewhere along the line, it turns into from just being fun to like proving something to someone. I'll show them. I'll show them. And that gets us motivated enough. But then we kind of mature as authors, our career kind of develops and turn into from the I'll show them to I'll show me. And you're like proving something to yourself, right? And then eventually you move into the I'm doing this because my words help people. Like I'm putting these down, my words help. They help me, they help others. I'm not just doing it for me or to show somebody. I'm doing it to contribute to the world. And that's really the big why that does make it easier to sit down every day. All right. And this big why, we call it the platform. We actually base or help you surround your entire writing career, your author career, around this one central topic that you love to talk about, that you want to see more of in the world, and it will help. And so sitting down will be a lot easier because you have a reason to do this. It's going to make the world a better place. All right. So let's say, though, you've looked at your time and your day, it's so full. You only found 10 minutes, but like, what can you possibly do in 10 minutes? Well, you can take 10 minutes and you can make an impact, okay? You can build your career with short, consistent work, okay? The word here is consistent, okay? You can, in 10 minutes, you can tweet something, right? You can make a Facebook post. You can make a list of blog topics that you want to share when you find more time, okay? You can leave a review on a friend's book, okay? These are like community building, okay? These are all things you can do in 10 minutes to build the business side of your writing career, to make that connection and impact on readers, okay? Your tweet shouldn't be, oh, my book is coming out, buy it, okay? That's not going to make an impact. That's going to make an irritation, okay? Your Facebook post shouldn't be about, oh, my book is awesome, buy a copy, okay? That's going to make an irritation. You want to make an impact, okay? A list of blog topics are things you want to share. Your tweet, your Facebook post, your blog topics, they should be on the topic that energizes you, okay? Your platform topic, as you call it, okay? You can also leave a review for a friend's book on Amazon or wherever. That will help strengthen the writing community that you're in, okay? But you can spend 10 minutes and make an impact. Just think about what you want to do. It can be done on whatever time you give it, okay? Now, remember, 90% of books sell fewer than 100 copies. That's because writing skill and business skills or selling skills are two totally different skill sets, okay? No matter how great your writing is, if you don't have the skills to sell, you're going to fall into this terrible category. Simple business skills. Now, Take time, but when you sit down, you carve out time out of your day for your writing career. Use the 1-to-4 ratio to get started, okay? For every 5 sessions you sit down, make one dedicated to the selling side of your book, okay? Develop the business skills you need to reach out to readers and develop your platform so you have a connection with them, working with publishers, okay? Spend 1 session on that, no matter how long the session is, and then spend 4 sessions on creating new work, okay? You can do this, write everything down, and then see what you've written down. Pick out patterns, and then, see where you can streamline. And definitely get a timer. Timers help so much because it really releases the stress of like, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it. Once you've hit your time, right? If you've said 10 minutes, you hit your 10-minute time, you're done. You kept that promise to yourself. And keeping that promise to yourself will make tomorrow's promises easier. Okay? So, now it's time for questions and answers. And I love this little quote. Rona found it. The odd thing about people with lots of books is they always want more books. That should be what keeps us all going, right? People with books love books. They want more. All right. Any questions out there? Oh, I have one question about timers. Why the timer? Okay. I just answered this, but yeah, get a timer. If you have a smartphone, there's actually a stopwatch feature. You can set for whatever you want. Hit start, go for it. When the timer goes off, you just stop and you go on with whatever you want to do. Okay. I suggest a timer again because it's just a very, very clear, like, okay, I said I give myself, 30 minutes to do this, and I need to get these 3 things done. I'm just going to get them done, and when the timer goes off, I don't have to worry about those 3 tasks anymore because I was going to do them in this 30 minutes. I sat down for 30 minutes, they're done. A lot of people, when they start with a timer, though, they'll go over. They'll do like, okay, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes, and then they find themselves sitting there for 3 hours and they burn themselves out. Okay, when you use a timer, you really want to respect the end time. There are lots of free resources online that can help you organize this. One of the things is like take 15 minutes, do something, and then like take a 5-minute break and then go back at it for 15 minutes. One of my other friends, there's another one that's 25 minutes. Set the timer for 25 minutes. You work, set the timer for 5 minutes and get up and walk 2 steps away. You do something else and then go back to it. Find what works for you because it's your life. All right, anything else? Okay, I have one more question. How do you run the... This question is about how much I sleep. I get enough sleep. I have insomnia. That's actually one of the reasons I started writing at like 7 years old, is because it was quiet and there was nothing else to do. You can only stare at the ceiling so much before you think, maybe I should be writing. But yeah, I do not sleep very much. But hey, that's what coffee's for, right? All right. Any other questions? All right, great. All right. So next week, I'll show you the next week one. If you have more questions from now or whenever, just email us at writersbusinessschool@gmail.com. You can also go over to Facebook and join our page, also on for updates and whatnots. Next Wednesday's class, November 16th, is 5 free websites you should be using to improve your business. Okay, a whole bunch of fun free items out on the web that can help you utilize the time that you dedicate to your business to make it even easier. Okay, and thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.